Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Sip&Talk.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. We are in such a good mood today.
We really are. And hello to all our Sip&Talkers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we have to talk about something so absurd and honestly so awkward that it basically has the whole internet just collectively laughing.
And it's highly entertaining.
Right. So have you seen this recent corporate ranking that just came out of China? They literally published this official list of their top enterprises, and sitting right there at the very top, listed as a quote-unquote Chinese enterprise, is TSMC.
Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's just pure cognitive dissonance. It honestly reminds me of this guy I met a few years ago.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
No, seriously. He was this highly narcissistic Silicon Valley tech founder, and he had absolutely nothing to do with building the flagship product his company sold, like zero coding, zero engineering.
But he took all the credit, I assume.
Oh, totally. He would walk around these networking events, point at the app on his phone, and tell literally everyone, "That's my baby. That is my life's work." It's just sickening, but also kind of hilarious.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's classic statistical fabrication. You know, in policy circles, we actually talk about this psychological coping mechanism. They call it omnipotent narcissism.
Oh, wow. Omnipotent narcissism. I like that.
Right. Because when a regime simply cannot win a technological race through, like, sheer capability, they try to claim victory through the narrative instead. TSMC is essentially this giant magic mirror that's just constantly reflecting Beijing's failure to actually indigenize its own semiconductor industry. So since they can't control it, they just slap a label on it.
Which is exactly our mission for this Sip and Talk today. We are going to completely unpack the sheer absurdity of this cross-strait rhetoric.
Definitely.
We're going to look at the massive clash between global tech, capital, and geopolitics, and figure out what this actually means for our own U.S. tech policy.
And just a quick reminder before we really get into it, you know, while we are touching on international politics and some potential investment themes like the whole semiconductor supply chain, we're just analyzing factual events objectively here.
Right, to encourage independent thinking.
Exactly. We are offering financial advice, and we aren't taking any political sides. We're just looking at the facts.
Awesome. So let's jump right into the core absurdity here, because the ultimate irony is just glaring. If TSMC is supposedly a Chinese company, how do they deal with the fact that TSMC literally cannot sell its advanced chips to China?
Yeah, that is the million-dollar question, or, well, the trillion-dollar question.
Right.
And the answer is that it all comes down to the American perspective on this, really.
Yeah.
It's our regulations like the U.S. GPS Act.
Spelled exactly like potato chips, by the way.
Yes, spelled like potato chips. And those international supply chain rules are what dictate TSMC's compliance. They don't operate in a vacuum.
Wait, expand on that a bit? Because they need global partners, right?
Oh, totally. They rely heavily on partners like ASML in Europe and Applied Materials right here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So a fundamental rule of global capital is that the power to actually make the rules is way more important than geographic proximity. TSMC's capital is completely international.
Right. It runs on the free market.
Exactly. Free market and the rule of law. It does not run on political mandates from Beijing.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate for a second here.
Go for it.
If I'm a global investor, couldn't this just be completely harmless statistical fluff? Why should I actually care about a spreadsheet error where someone just copy-pasted a name?
I mean, I get why someone would think that, but it's not just a typo. It shows a frankly terrifying lack of respect for corporate governance and property rights.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, think about it. If a regime feels so entitled that they can just claim a foreign company's assets on paper, it signals a massive, unquantifiable risk for any foreign capital operating in their jurisdiction.
Wow, yeah. Because if they can do it to TSMC, they can do it to anyone.
Exactly. And that is exactly why we are seeing international funds fleeing that market right now.
So because they can't control the tech and they can't control the capital, they've historically relied on this sort of covert influence, right? Like the United Front stuff.
Right, the old playbook.
But the dynamic is shifting hard. Taiwan is completely tearing up that script and playing offense in the digital intelligence war.
Oh, the new intelligence contact window. That is just brilliant.
It is wild. So for anyone who missed this, Taiwan recently launched this open website that actually invites Chinese citizens to submit intelligence directly to them.
Yeah, I was reading the reports on this.
I mean, China's Taiwan Affairs Office is absolutely furious. They're calling it intelligence theft and infiltration.
Well, of course they are. because strategically it is just a brilliant piece of asymmetric psychological warfare.
Wait, but do they actually expect someone to upload, like, launch codes on a public website?
No, probably not. I mean, they aren't necessarily expecting to uncover massive state secrets. The actual goal is to create information uncertainty within China's own system.
Oh, man, it's like dropping a single restless ant into their system.
Yes, perfect analogy.
Right, like suddenly they have to spend massive amounts of resources just monitoring who is visiting the site, who is talking about it.
Who's clicking the link, yeah.
It's a complete drain on their own surveillance apparatus.
Exactly. And honestly, this marks the end of the gray zone we've seen for the last 20 years. Taiwan is tearing up the old United Front script and making the conflict totally transparent.
Which is a huge signal to the world.
And to us here in Washington. It shows they are actively defending their institutional integrity, not just sitting back.
But, you know, the shift from ambiguity to transparent defense, it's not just happening in cyberspace. It's actually creating some severe friction on the ground for local politicians.
Oh, the local dilemma.
Yeah.
Economics versus security.
Yeah, the pineapples.
The pineapples, right.
So Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council recently banned central and local officials from attending the Strait Forum. They officially labeled it a United Front platform.
Which is a huge deal.
It is. And you look at the Taitung County magistrate. She recently traveled to China specifically to promote agricultural exports, like pineapple sugar apples, to be exact.
Right, a purely economic trip on paper.
Exactly. But she ends up meeting the head of the Taiwan Affairs Office, Song Tao, and totally bypassed standard immigration reporting to do it.
Which sets off all sorts of alarm bells.
So these local leaders are basically caught in a trap, right? I mean, they either get yelled at by the central government for crossing national security lines, or they get yelled at by their own farmers for not selling the fruit.
They are completely caught in a vice. And this brings up the whole approach of the Kuomintang Party, the KMT.
Right, Taiwan's opposition party.
Yeah. They've traditionally pushed for this pragmatic approach, seeking the 1992 consensus to get those economic dividends. And, you know, objectively speaking, seeking economic engagement isn't treason.
Right, it's just a policy difference.
Exactly. But the problem is that we are in an era where Beijing only accepts total unification, period.
The rules have changed.
Totally. So seeking economic engagement without acknowledging the massive national security risks, critics view that as a super dangerous strategic misjudgment right now.
Well, and to understand why it's so risky, we really have to look at the 70-year fiction going on here, the massive gap between Beijing's legal claims and the actual reality.
Oh, the 2005 anti-secession law.
Yes,
Yeah.
which gives Beijing domestic legal cover for military action. But the factual reality. The PRC has never governed the island of Taiwan for a single day since 1949. Not one day.
0 days.
It's literally like an ex-husband standing outside a house 70 years after the divorce, just screaming at the top of his lungs, "She's still my wife."
But it's hilarious.
Right. While the neighbor Taiwan has totally remodeled the house, gotten super rich, and invited all their international friends over for a huge party.
And the ex-husband is just out there throwing rocks. Which, speaking of throwing rocks, is basically the PLA's constant harassment strategy.
The military posturing, yeah.
Yeah, the drones, the high-altitude balloons, the A2AD systems.
Anti-access area denial, right.
Exactly. They try to create this terrifying umbrella to keep our U.S. forces out. But despite all that posturing, an actual invasion across a 140-kilometer strait is a phenomenally high-risk gamble. It would completely devastate global supply chains.
It's like a 300-pound guy flexing outside the gym, threatening the guy across the street, but there's a literal river full of crocodiles between them.
A very wide, very stormy river of crocodiles, yeah.
And the craziest part of all this posturing is what Taiwan has managed to build while under that constant threat. Have you looked at the Freedom House 2026 report?
I have. The numbers are staggering.
Taiwan scores a 93 out of 100 as a vibrant democracy, and China, a 9 out of 100.
93 to 9. That is,
Yeah.
I mean, that just totally dismantles the whole authoritarian narrative right there.
Totally. Because for years, we heard this myth that, oh, Chinese-speaking societies need strict authoritarian control.
The Asian values argument, yeah.
Right. But Taiwan's pandemic response, their LGBTQ plus rights, their transparent governance, it proves that Chinese-speaking societies can absolutely thrive in a democratic system.
And that is exactly why Taiwan is such a threat to Beijing's internal narrative.
Which kind of brings us to the ultimate question for us today. Why do we, sitting here in America, care so much about this standoff across the Pacific?
Yeah, why does it actually matter?
I mean, we've laughed a bit today, but it's serious.
It is, because this isn't just a territorial dispute. It is fundamentally a battle between two completely different visions of the future. You have technology paired with democracy on one side versus technology used for authoritarian control on the other. Taiwan's model of transparency and global trust is just vital for our own Indo-Pacific strategy.
And our supply chain security, for sure.
Absolutely. Because if that authoritarian model wins, it changes the rules for everyone.
It really does. Tearing away all this absurd propaganda reveals the core value we are all trying to protect here, and that is the power of choice.
Choice, yeah.
A nation's tech, its capital, and its people should belong to the society that actually builds them. They shouldn't just serve as a labeled accessory on a spreadsheet for a regime.
I couldn't agree more.
So as we wrap up, here is a final provocative thought for everyone listening. The next time you pick up your phone or open your laptop, just think about how your own daily tech usage relies completely on this hidden geopolitical firewall.
That's a great point.
That ecosystem exists because of a society that values freedom and transparency. What happens to our daily reality if that is compromised? It's definitely something to think about.
It really is.
Well, thank you so much to all our Sip and Talkers for joining us today.
Yes, thank you guys.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Sip and Talk podcast so you don't miss our next chat. And hey, if you need a break from heavy geopolitics, you have to go check out our good buddy Mickey's YouTube vlog, Mickey to Life.
Oh my gosh, yes. Mickey to Life is the best.
It is incredibly fun. His travel stuff is amazing. It's a total must-watch. Go give him some love.
Definitely check it out. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.